education on life expectancy, that's one measure we have, is not greater for women. If anything, it's a little bit weaker for women, although women overall live longer than men. So I can't do it. Now you might say, what about marriage? More educated women formerly didn't get married so much. Now they do. It's true. So you've had a narrowing of the gap between men and women of higher education who marry. But men still, more educated men still are more likely to marry than women. Just the gap is smaller than it used to be. But it didn't reverse. So it's very easy to explain why the gap between men and women going to higher education is narrow. That's no problem. You can see a lot more women are working in the labor force and they're working longer hours. So they're still working fewer hours than men on average. So the gap now the challenge is to explain why this whole thing was reversed. That is the challenge. So I don't think any of the benefits things do it. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with the cost side. Well, what do we have on the cost side? Well, we have two, you can think of two factors. We can think, the way I'll think about them are, one, how much human capital they start with graduating high school, and one, what their cognitive and non-cognitive abilities are, the mean and the distribution. Okay? Now, if you look at the mean of cognitive abilities, about the same. Look at the variances, a little smaller for women, but I'm not going to stress things like IQ and so on. I let Larry Summers do that. What I want to stress, however, is if you look at just performance measures, women, there are two differences between men and women. Women grades and scores on, say, international tests like the PISA test are higher than that of men, typically, on average. And two, despite having higher scores, their variances, in one measure of variability, is smaller for them than men. And this is true in high school, it's true in college, and it's true on international tests. For the most part, I mean, there are exceptions, but for the most part, they both are very true. And as I said, we've accumulated a fair bit of evidence on that. So what's my story? The story is that women in the relevant interval, and that will depend on the relevant intervals, the relevant intervals, the elasticity supply of women to higher education is greater than that of men. And